contenta di incontrarvi durante questa sessione oggi. Mi chiamo Francesca Buccovillo e sono la direttrice associata per il programma, il Roma in 3-Year Program di cui oggi parleremo, e curo anche i servizi agli studenti qui alla Temple University Rome Campus. Dico qualche parola rispetto al mio percorso perché credo che sia rilevante per la nostra conversazione oggi. Io sono evidentemente, da come potete sentire, sono italiana, ho studiato parte del mio percorso accademico in Italia e poi ho proseguito gli studi negli Stati Uniti presso un'università che ha una sede qui a Roma, appunto, molto, diciamo, molto simile a Temple per questo aspetto, e ha una sede centrale negli Stati Uniti. Anche io ho avuto una grandissima opportunità, cioè quella di poter seguire il mio percorso universitario, quindi di fare gli esami e i corsi, avendo la retta coperta dall'università in quanto lavoravo per l'università. Quindi sono molto contenta di condividere con voi oggi, di incontrarvi oggi, di condividere tutte le opportunità che Temple University ha per studenti che appunto hanno intenzione di proseguire il loro percorso in un contesto un po' più internazionale e americano.
Grazie. Abbiamo anche con noi Alyssa.
Ciao, buonasera, sono Alyssa Zenfenig e io lavoro alla Temple con Francesca e Emily da quasi 5 mesi. Io sono statunitense e durante i miei studi ho trascorso un semestre a Firenze, ma questo è molti anni fa. Ma sono molto contenta di parlare con tutti voi e spero che questo sia molto utile.
We have a request to speak in English. Should we continue in English?
Sure.
You can do that? Okay. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask either in English or Italian. Those are the 2 languages covered here by the 3 of us. Yeah, we're happy to answer in any language you choose. If any of your parents are there and want to have any questions, we can ask via the chat, and we'll have some time at the end for questions as well. I want to add that I also studied at Temple University. I studied here at Temple Rome, and it was the best experience of my life, and that's why I'm still here talking about it with you today. So we are really excited to pass along this opportunity and to give you some more information. So I will hand it off to Francesca unless you want me to cover this, whatever you want.
Thanks, Emily. All right, so let's do this in English. All right, so, well, I'm not sure about how much you know about Temple University, but this map is very self-explanatory. It shows you how Temple University, it's a global institution. Our main campus is located in the city of Philadelphia in the United States, in the state of Pennsylvania. We do have 2 campuses overseas, one in Rome, where the 3 of us, Emily and Alyssa and I, work and are now connected from, and the other one in Japan, in Tokyo. What these 3 campuses have in common is that we are all located in urban environments. So Rome is, the campus in Rome is located in a very central area of the city. The campus in Philadelphia as well, it's in the city, and the same goes for Tokyo. So, you know, when you think about an American university, kind of like with the stereotype of being in a kind of rural setting and big lawns and big spaces, Temple, it's a little different from that. It's a much more vibrant space that is intertwined with the urban environment and with the city. To move on, all of these other spots that you see on the map, all of these, sorry, Emily, I didn't mean to say to move on the slide. All of these spots, these yellow spots that you see, those are all the locations, well, some of the locations actually, where Temple students can study abroad. So wherever you see a dot, it means that we do have a partnership with either a local institution, or we do have a study center, or in any case, students can spend a semester in that location. So again, what makes Temple very special is this global presence, and also the value and the importance that it gives to international education, and to provide international students with the opportunity to access this education. Okay.
I see, so from Gordon, we have a question. Yes, one of those dots is actually located in Ghana. We have a summer program in Ghana. It's a faculty-led program, and I believe the program is about African language and culture. So yes, that program is located in Ghana. We don't host all of the programs, all of the dots every single year, but that is one of the programs running now.
And the Ghana one, it's been quite successful. It's one of the biggest program apart from the campuses abroad. I believe also business students can study in Ghana for a semester. Yeah. All right, so I give you kind of an idea of what type of institution Temple University is. Temple is quite a big institution. We have something around 36,000 students, including undergraduate and graduate students. It's a university with 17 between schools and colleges. And we offer more than 150 majors. So, but in spite of these numbers, so the number of students, and the variety of courses that can be studied, Temple has a students to faculty ratio of 13:1, which makes it a university where students can connect with their faculty members. It makes it a university where that environment, a small classroom environment, it's still present, and so it's not, you know, dispersive, or a place where it's difficult to connect with others, and with the faculty members. So with regards to the majors that are offered, this goes from liberal arts, going from psychology, humanities, political science, to engineering, with the College of Science and Technology. We have a strong business program. We have a very famous fine arts program as well. We do have a medical school, and so forth and so on. But today we'll talk more in depth about the Roman 3-year program. So I don't want to I don't want to go over all of the list of courses. I would like to focus on what we offer here in Rome. Okay, so the Roman 3-year program, which is what we would like to focus on, it's a program that allows students to start their freshman year in Rome with us, and then go on to either our campus in Philadelphia or to our campus in Tokyo, Japan, starting their second year. So it's kind of a bridge program that brings students, either students from the United States to Rome, or European and Italian students to Rome for the first year, and then off for continuing their Temple degree in one of our other campuses abroad. So the program really enables students, as you understand, to study in different locations. Not only different locations, but different campuses located in continents that are, you know, completely different continents. So yeah, so students, we have been running the program for now 5 years. It's a very intimate and small program. Right now we have around 30 students enrolled, and we are receiving a lot of interest, and we really hope to grow our international students community here on campus. So, as I was mentioning, our program here in Rome is much smaller and intimate compared to the type of experience, the student experience that you will have in a big university in the United States. I was mentioning that Temple has around 35,000 students as a student population. Here in Rome, we only have around between 200 and 300 students. So it's a much smaller community. And again, the freshman program itself, it's much smaller than that, with only around between 30 and 40 students in the cohort. So what does that mean? It actually means that you will have, again, a very intimate environment, that you will be able to access professors and staff very easily. And also that you will get to know your peers, and your future course mates in a much facilitated way. So again, the idea is to offer an environment where students can have a facilitated transition from high school to college. How so? Exactly, you know, as I was saying, because of the environment and because of the type of support that we provide. All of our students, definitely, but specifically our freshman students. Our student life team is always available to students. We have student support 24/7. We do have a medical doctor here on campus. We have a counselor here on campus. We have a student life assistant that is dedicated to the freshman students and lives in the same building with all of the freshman students. So it's an experience that is much more structured and much more guided compared to the one that you will have in a bigger university in the United States. Here at Temple Rome, we do focus on experiential learning. So talking about the academic aspects, a lot of the courses that we offer have an academic, an experiential component built into the course. This means that many classes meet students outside of the classroom setting. There are excursions during the weekend, and a number of opportunities that allow students to actually immerse themselves in the culture and experience what they are studying firsthand. As I was mentioning, we are on a very beautiful location. We are very close to the banks of the Tiber River in the area of Piazza del Popolo. For those of you who are familiar with the city. Our building, it's a traditional Roman villa, but while it is, you know, an old building, it might look as an old building from outside. We have recently finalized our renovation project of all of the internal spaces. So our spaces are very modern, and students can access beautiful spaces with a lot of technology. We have a library, we have, of course, classrooms, we have studio art spaces, we have computer labs, and so forth and so on. Yeah, so this map shows exactly where we are. You see Temple Rome in red, and then Piazza del Popolo. And then from Piazza del Popolo on, that's where the historical center of Rome starts. So very centrally located. Our students instead are housed in the area of Prati, which is across the bridge from where the campus is located. So I don't know, Emily, if you can point it out with, yes, in that area there. So very close by our campus. Rome, it's a big city. So to find the housing and a campus that is so central, it's quite unique. Okay, so let's talk about what we do offer in terms of majors and what you will be eventually able to study. So these are the majors that can be studied in Rome. We offer majors in the School of Business, going from marketing to business administration, to finance and so forth and so on. We do have pretty much all the majors in the College of Liberal Arts. As I was saying, psychology, global studies, anthropology, sociology, history. We do offer majors in the field of sport, tourism and hospitality management. We do offer film, media arts and theater, art history. We have a few majors under the College of Education. And then we added these new majors just last year in the college, from the College of Science and Technology, that are biology and computer science. So these are all the majors that we offer. And what is also important to say that Temple is very much committed to enabling students to finish their undergraduate degree in 4 years. And we do that through an agreement. It's called Flying 4, where the student commits to take certain steps on a certain timing. For example, talk to an advisor or register for courses during priority deadlines. And Temple commits to offering the courses that the students need to graduate. So all of these majors that can be offered here are Flying 4 compliant, meaning that if a student starts in Rome, they will be able to finish their Temple degree in 4 years. Yeah, so I would like to touch base on the content of your academic experience, so what you will be studying. This is an example, but again, really only an example of a first-year academic plan for a student in liberal arts. So while students are here in Rome, generally they do take courses from the general education curriculum. Now, I don't know how much you are familiar with the American system and how it works, but basically, in order to obtain your undergraduate degree, you need to collect something around 120 credits total, very similar to an Italian laurea triennale. These credits are divided in 3 big groups. One group, it's exactly this general education curriculum, which these are courses that all students at the university take, regardless of their major, regardless of their corso di laurea. So all students at Temple, the student who studies psychology and the student who studies engineering, will have to take English, they will have to take a math, they will have to take a gen ed science, they will have to take a gen ed in race and diversity, gen ed in human behavior, and so forth and so on. So this is the general education curriculum. And then there are core requirements, so courses that are related to the major only, and then electives. So these are courses that students can pick from any other school or college, and they can be used to complement what they study, or just to learn more about something they are just interested in. So going back to the grid, usually what students take is Italian 1001, which is mandatory for students in the program. Of course, it's mandatory for all students whose first language is not Italian, or students who are not proficient in Italian. So for students like you who are from Italy, you will not be required to take Italian. Then English 0802, which is a course not of English language, it's more about how to write in English, reading, writing, English composition, and so on. Then workings of the mind, it's a human behavior course, and it's a psychology course. One art history course. Then we have a freshman seminar, which is a 1 credit course that all freshman students take. And they learn about college skills. So how to make a research, how to use the library, how to work with others in a group, how to make a presentation, building their CV, their LinkedIn profile, and so on. And then on the spring semester, these are other example of other general education courses. Then, of course, there's also going to be a free elective or a course that is related to your major, depending on what your major is. So again, this is just an example, but I think it's helpful to give you to get an idea of the type of course that you will be taking. Every semester, students take 15 credits. So in a year, you accrue 30 credits total, pretty much. Yeah, so looking back on what I was saying about experiential learning components, these are some of the places where we take students kind of on a daily basis, because with so many students and so many courses, there is always a class and it's somewhere outside during the week. So these are some of the on-site one-day trip that we organize. We take students to for example, the World Food Program. We take students to the Villaggio Olimpico, the museums, of course, the botanical gardens. We take students to Ostia. When students study something, if that topic is available to be seen, or someone that works in that field is available to be heard, to be involved, we usually do. So you want to be studying Caravaggio, looking at Caravaggio painting on the book. You will go off campus and walk to Piazza del Popolo, where there are some churches with beautiful Caravaggio paintings. So this is very much the ethos of our campus, of our university, and it's also an opportunity for students to do something very action-based and experiential. All right, and with this, I think I'll hand it over to Emily.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the cost of attendance, and this is all before scholarship. So this is just in general. When doing your first year in Rome, students who are international residents who are living outside of the United States would pay a reduced, the equivalent of in-state tuition of about $17,000 US, and then the rest of the fees, the $30,000, that's for out-of-state students, so students who are United States citizens and they're living inside the US. So you all would be considered international residents, and for the first year in Rome, you would have that reduced tuition. In addition, there are service fees, and then there is housing, which is about $7,500 for the first year. Again, this is all before scholarships. This is the base rate that students would pay without any financial support. When going to Philadelphia, the prices change a little bit in terms of tuition. So being an international resident, an international student, you would be charged that out-of-state tuition of about $30,000. This depends on your major. So some Temple has differential tuition, and this means that the amount that you're charged for tuition changes by the major that you're enrolled in. So there are some schools that have higher tuitions than others, but that $30,000 number that you see right there is the base rate tuition. And this is, again, going to Philadelphia, our main campus, for the last 3 years of your degree. And in addition, there are other fees, just like in Rome. So you're paying about the same amount for housing and for your general university fees. Again, this is all before scholarships. Now talking about scholarships, I will mention a few options that we have for students who are applying to the Rome entry year program. So we will focus on the Terzo Pilastro scholarship in the next slide, so I'll wait for that. In addition to Terzo Pilastro, which is the full ride scholarship that we're offering, we also have the Global Citizen Scholarship, and this covers all of the tuition costs of the first year for a student who is graduating high school outside of the United States. This is regardless of nationality, regardless of where in the world they're located, as long as the student is located outside of the United States. In addition, we have merit scholarships for students applying to Temple, and this is, in addition to the Global Citizen Scholarship, automatic consideration. And this means that just by applying to Temple, you, based on your application, based on your grades in high school, based on any activities you've done outside of the classroom, based on anything you've done in the community, and also based on your English language proficiency test, you would be awarded a sort of GPA equivalent from our international admissions office, and then you would potentially be awarded a merit scholarship. Again, this is like all based on you as a person. This is not based on financial need. So these range from just a couple $1,000s per year to full tuition at Temple University. And merit scholarships from our main campus are awarded from years 2 through 4. So while you're on main campus in Philadelphia, but also in Rome, we award some merit scholarships. And then in addition, we have the Bridge Scholarship. So far, over 90% of students who have applied for the scholarship have been awarded throughout the last 5 years that we've been offering it. And this goes up to $3,000 per year, or sorry, just for your first year in Rome towards housing. Just to kind of bridge that cost of living in Rome. So those are the options for scholarship consideration for your first year in Rome. And I'll focus on the Terzo Pilastro scholarship application now. So we are really excited about this opportunity because it will cover all costs associated with attending Temple University for 4 years. So this includes not only tuition, the fees that you saw on the other pages, but also housing, also meals, textbooks. So all of the costs that are associated with you living in Rome and then in Philadelphia in the United States for the 4 years of your degree and graduating. We are really excited to provide this opportunity. It's being funded by a foundation called the Terzo Pilastro Foundation. And we're really excited to share this information with you. So to be eligible for the scholarship, you must be a student who is a resident in Italy and who has attended at least one cycle of school in Italy. And what this means is that you don't have to have Italian citizenship, but you do have to have been in Italy for at least all of your high school curriculum or all of your middle school. So the entirety of at least one cycle of school. So if you have started and finished high school in Italy, you are eligible for this. And if you're also resident in Italy right now. In addition to this, you must have high financial need. So to apply for the scholarship, you're required to show financial need by uploading an ISEE document that I believe you can get from the CAF. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Francesca. And on this document, you must show that your ISEE number is 25,000 euros or less. So for applying for the scholarship, you can scan that QR code if you want. Also, it is on our website, which I'll give you the link for that in later on in the presentation. But if you scan that, you can get information for how to actually apply for the scholarship itself. So you will be writing a personal statement in Italian, and this is about you as a student, your ambition, why you want to study at Temple, why you want to study what you want to study. So this is about you. And then in addition, you are uploading that ISE document showing financial need. And then I believe the timing of, because I got a question about this earlier today, the timing of awarding scholarships, I believe will be about April that we should come to a decision. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Francesca. The application deadline, I'll talk about how to apply to Temple, is February 1st. And so there are a few weeks of students getting their decisions, and then we'll have a couple weeks to decide by then. So around April, if you are awarded the scholarship, you would be hearing something. So I will, and please, if you have any questions about the scholarship, please put it in the chat. We'll have some time for questions at the end of the presentation, but in order to apply for the scholarship, you must also be admitted to Temple University Rome Entry Year program. So the scholarship is only for students who are starting in Rome for year 1 and doing years 2 through 4, finishing their degree in Philadelphia. So to apply to Temple University, you are applying through the Common Application. The Common Application is basically an online system that a lot of United States universities use, and it makes the application process really easy because you fill out all of the information one time, you choose the schools that you want to apply to, and then you submit your application to all of the schools at once. So Temple uses the system, it's really easy, and all of the information is on our website on how to access it. So first you will decide whether you want to submit test scores. So I know we got a question about that earlier. It is not required to submit SAT or ACT. However, if you have taken one of those exams and you want to submit it, you are welcome to. You are being evaluated for admission, whether or not you submit your test scores, and you're being evaluated in the same way. So it will not hurt you if you don't decide to submit your test scores. However, if you do submit them and you are really confident about the score that you got, then it can really help in your application and for potential merit scholarships. When applying for Temple via the Common Application, again, it's a pretty easy process. You answer all of the questions. There's another personal statement in English this time, and you're also selecting that you want to apply to the Rome campus. If you don't select that you want to apply to the Rome campus, that means that you're applying directly to our campus in Philadelphia, and that means that you would not be eligible for the Terzo Pilastro scholarship or for the Rome Entry Year program. So that's an easy change to make later. If you said, oh, whoops, I didn't click the right button with the campus, but I wanted to apply to the Rome campus, we could fix that later. But make sure that you're hitting that Rome campus when going through the Common Application. And then through there, you can choose the major that you want to do. You do not have to decide now. A lot of people don't know what they want to do with their life, and that is okay. College and having the general education program is actually a great asset because you get to have experience in all these different types of courses, like the psychology, the art history, the science that we were mentioning earlier. And those courses can help you give an idea of what you like and don't like. So if you don't know what you want to study right now, that is totally okay. It's very normal. People change their majors all the time, so you do not need to know right away. But if you do know, you can choose. So through the Common Application, you will also be sending your official high school transcripts, and these are your pagelle. Correct, Francesca, that's what they're called in Italian. So you must have your high school send these directly to Temple. You cannot send them yourself. You cannot upload them and send them to us. Your school must send them directly to Temple. So in the Common Application, there will be a section to send your official high school transcripts. You will put the email of your high school. Hopefully the person you know will be sending those transcripts. So if there is someone who acts as a high school, a college counselor at your school, or if you know who is the person who would send these transcripts to universities, maybe the secretary or something like that, you would send that directly to that contact. Or if there's a specific teacher that you know can get those for you as well. So you will put that person's contact into the Common Application, and then that person must follow the instructions on submitting your official transcripts to Temple. And finally, it is required that you send an official English language proficiency test to Temple. If you went to a high school that had an English only curriculum, except for any language classes, obviously, but if you were in a high school that spoke English for at least 3 years, then you do not have to do this. However, if you were speaking Italian in high school, if your classes were in Italian, then you must do an English language proficiency test. There are several options. We have the TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo. I always recommend Duolingo to people because you can do it online. It's the most accessible price rise. I believe it's about $49 US or euros. So that you can schedule online, you can take a practice test, and then you can get, you can send your official score to Temple within a week or two. So that is what I recommend for anyone who has not taken any English language proficiency test yet. And we'll go over the score requirements next. I just want to note that the deadline to apply is February 1st. I know that this is a tighter timeline. You have a few weeks. It is okay. If you are applying for February 1st, but you're like waiting on a document or waiting for your English language test score to be submitted, maybe you took it in the next week or so, but it still hasn't arrived at Temple, that is okay. Don't stress too much, but the important thing is that you finished your common application and you've gotten the bulk of your application by February 1st. If you end up finishing your application after February 1st, it might affect your eligibility for other merit scholarships at Temple. So I recommend, if you are able to apply before that deadline. And then you will also apply separately for the Terzo Pilastro application using this QR code / the module on our website to apply directly for that. So you'll be filling out 2 applications for the university and for the scholarship. In terms of what Temple expects from incoming students, we don't have a minimum GPA or minimum test score for the SAT or ACT. We do have averages. So what you can see here are the average GPAs on a 4.0 scale. So our average GPA for fall for the students who came in August is a 3.42. If you have below that, that is okay. If you have above that, that's great. It is just the average. We assess your application holistically. We assess you as a whole person, not just based on your grades, not just based on your test scores. So we really suggest that you focus on everything you do in the community, anything you might have done after school, any clubs, any sports, anything like that. We want to know everything you're doing, not just in school, but outside of school, and this will make your application stronger. In terms of the English language proficiency tests, these are the minimum scores to be admitted to Temple. If you get less than this, you could be admitted on a conditional basis, but this means that you would be going directly to the main campus and you would be studying English there before continuing with the rest of your degree. So this is the requirement to start at Temple Rome in the Rome entry program right away, and to also be eligible for the Terzo Pilastro scholarship. So the main ones that people take, the TOEFL, their minimum is a 79, the IELTS, the minimum is a 6.0, and for Duolingo, the minimum is 110. And that is the information we have for you. You can scan this QR code. It takes you directly to our website. And on this website, we have different pages for the majors. So if you have a major that you're interested in, I know someone's interested in criminal justice, you can click on that major. You can read about all the classes that you would be taking. You can read about the opportunities for that major. And that goes for all of the majors that are required or that we offer for the Rome entry year program. There's also information linking directly to the Terzo Pilastro scholarship. So if you go on our website, there's a section for costs. And on that page at the bottom, there are all the scholarships that we offer and how to apply for each one. So you will see the application for that scholarship on our website as well. You can always reach out to us if you need anything. We are very happy to help. We're happy to walk you through the application process, to answer any questions you have. So you can always reach out to us via email at rome_entry@temple.edu. You can take a screenshot of this page if you want to. And our phone number is also listed as well. So we are always here if you need anything. We want to help. We want to help you get these opportunities. So please don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. In the meantime, though, if you do have questions right now, we are happy to answer them. You can feel free to write them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask whatever you feel comfortable with. And you can ask in English or Italian, whatever you prefer. I'll wait a couple minutes in case anyone is thinking of questions.
Oh, thank you so much, Emily, Francisca, and Elisa as well. It's really appreciative, as I said before. So I think handle to my students, even one have a question, but I think most of their questions have been answered, but let's hear from them.
Thank you, Lydia. Yeah, we hope we answered the bulk of your questions. We know there were a lot of questions about the application process and how to just get started. So I would say the first thing you need to do is take your English language proficiency test, because oftentimes that takes a couple weeks to get back. So I would schedule that as soon as possible if you haven't taken one within the last 2 years already. And then I would look into applying to the university. So I would fill out the common application, and I would figure out who you would need to get your high school transcripts from to send directly to Temple. You do not have to stay after the graduation in Philadelphia. You can come back to Italy if you would like to. You can go wherever you want to in the world. You would be, unless you have US citizenship, you would be on a US student visa. So oftentimes, if you found a job afterwards and you wanted to stay, that could be a possibility. If not, you are welcome to go wherever in the world you want to. The world is your oyster.
But let me add that as a student who graduates in the United States, you are eligible for a year, excuse me, a year visa. It's called optional practical training. So after graduation, you have 1 year where you can basically stay in the country and look for a job.
And I believe it's also up to 3 years if you study the STEM field. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So if you were doing something in science or engineering, then you could possibly stay and work for up to 3 years.
If you are a transfer student, so if you are already in university, you would have to apply directly to the Philadelphia campus. And unfortunately, you would not be eligible for the Terzo Pilastro scholarship. Main campus does have other scholarships for transfer students, but with the Rome entry curriculum, where you start in Rome and then finish your degree in Philadelphia, if you're already in college, we offer mostly your first year classes, your foundation classes. So we don't have the right classes that you would need to graduate on time. So you would have to go directly to Philadelphia. Application process is more or less the same. You're still applying through Common App. You're sending in your transcripts, you're sending in your college transcripts, and you're also sending in your English language proficiency test. You're welcome. Any other questions? And again, if you do not want to ask now, or if you think of any questions later, you are always welcome to email us directly and we'll get back to you, usually within a couple hours or maximum a day.
Oh yeah, I think they have all the emails and everything online. So in case they have any question, but I read that the deadline was on 1st of February. Is that okay?
Say that again. The deadline is the 1st of February.
Yes.
From Sandra, for a B2 certificate, for Temple, you must have a C1 or C2 advanced for the minimum requirement. So if you're able to retake that test and you get up to, Francesca, is it, whoops, C1 advanced or C2, excuse me?
It's C1.
Okay. So if you were able to retake that test, then you are welcome to. But with the B2, you would be potentially admitted for conditional acceptance. And during the year of school, yes, you are allowed to travel. Many of our students do travel. We also have a week for fall break and for spring break. So many students will travel around Europe. So yes, you're definitely welcome to travel, but we also encourage seeing Rome and seeing Italy, although you guys are already in Italy, so you know Italy, but we encourage really diving into the Italian culture and exploring Rome as a city, because Rome is very fun. There's so much to do. There's a lot of different neighborhoods as well. So you're welcome to travel if you would like to. All right. If there are no more questions, again, I will leave our contact information up here. But we really appreciate everyone's time tonight. It was great to meet you. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for coming. And please reach out to us if you are applying and if you have any questions at all. We hope you have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week. We hope to talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you for organizing this.